What's up, it's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you from the Bumblebee movie. This is Studio Series Brawn and Ratchet. Now, I picked these up from a local seller here in Japan. Unfortunately, they didn't come in the boxes or the backdrops. I do have the accessories and the instruction manual, so that is good. But I really do like to showcase figures that are in the box, just to look at the artwork and how they're displayed and things like that. But anyways, doing things a little bit different today. So yeah, I'm just going to take a look at these guys real quick, do some comparisons, check out their alt modes, and just super happy to have these guys in hand, box or not. I think these guys came out really nice. Let's take a look at the accessories first. They do come with their instruction manual, so I will show you Brawn's. There's what Brawn's looks like. So you see a picture of Brawn on the cover. And then we do have the instruction manual for Ratchet as well. Now, I will say one thing, the transformation is very intuitive on these guys. They're quite simple, not too involved. So I did have to peek at the instructions a little bit, but for the most part, I kind of got them transformed back and forth without too much difficulty. So let's take a look at Brawn's accessories first. He does come with this little sort of drill bit here, and it is cast in this sort of dark gray plastic with some nice gold, not gold, sort of gray or sort of gunmetal gray paint over the top. And there's some very nice sculpted detail there. There's a port right there, and it also has a peg right there, so it can be plugged in many ways. And he can use that as a weapon, or in vehicle mode, it does act as sort of the front drill bit of the vehicle mode, so you can just hold that very easily. And Brawn does come with one more weapon, and that is done in that same sort of gray plastic. And this, I think, came out nice. This blaster looks so cool. Really big, and I just love the size comparison of little Brawn holding this huge blaster. So this, again, is just really nice. Has some really nice sculpted detail on there. And again, it has some ports on here that you can plug things in. It does work with blast effects and things like that. So again, it can be plugged in his hands very easily. And again, it's just kind of funny. You have this huge honking gun for this little Brawn. So there's the accessories for Brawn. And just taking a quick look at Ratchet's accessories. Now, Ratchet does just come with one accessory, and that is his big blaster as well. And this is done in a little bit darker gray plastic. And again, you have some really nice sculpt work on the gun part. Pretty much similar on both sides. And it does have place for blast effects. It doesn't have any other ports, but it can be used as weapon storage again. And it fits right in his hand like so. So they can both hold their weapons very easily. So just taking the accessories off, and I'm going to take Brawn off to the, Ratchet off to the side, put him down, and I'm going to get Brawn's accessories off him. And let's take a look at the details of Brawn. First and foremost, that head sculpt just came out so amazing. The detail on the face, you get some really nice silver paint, and again, that sort of gunmetal gray for the helmet. You get a little bit of detail on the helmet there, but just that face sculpt is just looking so cool. Just love all the detail. The sculpt work on this figure is amazing. Ratchet is no different, but I think especially on Brawn, you get some really nice detailing through here under his neck part. And just going down the figure, you do get the white Autobot symbol there. And just some really nice panel lining there. And the detail all over this guy is just amazing. There's all sort of mechanical bits here and there. You see a little bit of silver paint down here. You see some nice army green paint and some nice silver paint on the upper arms. And again, just the sculpt work is very, very impressive on this figure. So just taking a look here, you get a little bit of sculpt work on the forearms there. You see his fists, see the tires there. And then going down the legs here, you do see, again, just some more beautiful sculpt work all the way through, some little hydraulics and things like that. And going down, oops, that came undone. That does tend to come apart. I just noticed with one, there's a peg there that clips right in there. It does come apart when you bend his knees. But taking a look at the detail, we have some silver paint on the kneecaps there. And you get some nice, almost looks like Bumblebee's legs here. It does very reminiscent of the Bumblebee movie, the feet here. You get a little bit of a, looks like there's a little bit of a paint mist there. But again, that gunmetal gray paint on the foot. And the contrast is just really nice. Again, the sculpted detail is just so cool. It's just all over the place. They really went all out with this figure. So the more I look at this, it's just like I find little bits and pieces I kind of missed before. So, and on the back, you can kind of see how his whole vehicle mode top is on the back there. But even from the back, they didn't skimp on the sculpted detail on the back. They could have just kind of left this plain. but they really did a beautiful job, really bang up job on this figure. And he seems pretty, the plastic feels pretty light. He's not too heavy, but it feels good. It's not, it doesn't feel cheap or anything. So as far as articulation on this guy, it's very difficult because you have this huge sort of shell around Brawn's head. Is a little bit difficult to get in on the head. I've been trying to pose this guy a little bit, and he does have some very limited side-to-side movement. There's nothing really up or down. It's just basically side-to-side. So a little bit unfortunate, but that's, because of the design there. And his arms can go all the way around. They can go out that much. And he does have he doesn't have any swivel at the upper bicep, but he does have a more than 90-degree elbow bend, but that's because of transformation as well. And he does have some nice wrist swivel, which is very tight. This guy seems very tight. The Ratchet is a little bit loose, but this guy seems pretty tight. Getting his arms out of the way, he does have a nice 360 waist swivel, so that is very nice. Now, putting his arms up there, his legs are a little bit limited. He can't really do any splits. He can kick back that far. He can kick up that far. And he does have again, there's that piece that kind of comes undone very easily. So you got to be careful. You got to actually hold it right there. He does have about a 90-degree at the at the knee there. And he does have a little swivel piece there at the hip. So it can go out like that. And there's a rotation right above the knee there. And at the feet, because of transformation, his feet do go back that much. And you do get a little bit of rocker joint there. Just be careful, you guys pick this guy up. These come unhinged very easily. So when you're posing him, it can be a little bit tricky. But overall, some very nice articulation for Brawn. And overall, just a really nice looking figure. I really like this guy. I love how stubby and just kind of chunky he is. He looks just so funny. But a very good depiction of him from the movie. The only other Brawn figure I do have for comparison is the Old Titans Return Brawn. So there are the Brawn side by side, and you do see the cues from G1 as far as the coloring and things. But as far as like the depiction from the movie, I think it's spot on. So anyways, we'll get these guys out of the way, and let's bring in Ratchet. So, sorry, Brawn. Here we have Ratchet here. And this guy is a little bit loose, so I definitely got to put some nail polish on this guy to tighten him up. But taking a look at the head sculpt first and foremost, they have some really nice red paint on the crest. You have the deep blue eyes, and you have some just beautiful sculpt work and silver paint on the face there. I think this guy's head came out really nice. And speaking of sculpt work, you have that really cool sculpt work under his neck section there. All sorts of like pipes and hoses and things. Going down the figure, you do get some really nice, you get a nice Autobot logo on the front. You get the clear blue plastic for the front of the vehicle there on his chest. You get red paint on the shoulders, very nice accent. You do get some red paint on the abdomen section with some very nice sculpt work as well. Going down the figure, not too much on the legs. You get a little bit of sculpt work here and there. A little bit of hollowness in through here. I'm sure we'll have some upgrade kits to fill in these gaps, and also as well as these huge gaps, but that is mainly for transformation there. But going down the arms, you get a little bit of panel work and sculpt work. Almost looks like a face there, the eyes and nose and mouth. But you do get some nice sculpted detail and some nice sort of gray paint on the forearms. And that's what the hands look like. And again, yeah, he's kind of flopping around here. These joints are very loose. But going down, you see a little bit of red paint at the bottom. See the wheels for the vehicle mode. And some more of that gray paint for the shins. And not much else. You just get some nice sculpt work on the feet. Actually, those are very nicely done. And again, a little bit of paint bleed here. I'm not sure. Both figures have a little bit of paint bleed. Not sure if these are kind of like defects or whatever. But anyways. And then on the back, that's how he looks. Again, they could have left this just flat plastic, but again, look at the sculpt work. You get some little springs and little cogs, and just the detail on this guy is really amazing. They really went all out on these figures. Very impressed already. Again, just some hollowness, but that is mostly for transformation. And just the sculpt work on this guy, even inside the leg there, you see there's like a cylinder and some sculpt work inside there, a little wheel. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'm actually very impressed by this. The more I look at it, kind of like Brawn, the more I see. So anyways, this is Ratchet. And as far as articulation, he's a little bit more articulated, a little more animated than Brawn. You have a little more leeway with his head. He can do the full 360, and he does have light piping. Not sure how well it shows up on the camera, but I'm sure if I got some light behind there, maybe I will show it off in a sec. If I got some light behind there, you do have some nice light piping there. So as far as articulation, this whole shoulder piece is on this one piece. So if you can see, it does turn all the way around, which is very nice. You get a full 360 there. And then there's a hinge on this arm here. If you look under there's a hinge there, which is actually very nice. You get a full hinge on that shoulder part. And you do get a bicep swivel on him. And you do get a 90 degree at the arm. And his hands aren't articulated, but because of transformation, they go in and out. So getting his arms out like that. He does have a nice waist swivel, so a nice 360 waist swivel, which is also used in the transformation. He does have a hinge here at the leg, so he can hinge. He can do the full splits. And again, this thing is very loose, but he can kick back that much. He can kick forward that much. He does have a 90 degree at the knee, and he does have some ankle rocker motion. Not too much. It's actually very limited on Ratchet. You definitely get a little bit more with Brawn. But anyways, a very articulated and very cool figure. Really impressed with this figure. Now, I'm going to bring in the Siege Ratchet here just for a quick comparison, just to see height. Siege Ratchet is actually a lot taller than the 86 Bumblebee movie figure, but there they are, a quick comparison. So let's take a look at their vehicle modes. And I will just show off that light piping in just a sec. So let's just get these guys back on the camera. And I will just show off that light piping. But then after that, let's get into their vehicle modes. So as I mentioned, there is some light piping on Ratchet. So let's take a quick look at that. I got my handy dandy little flashlight here. And let's put that up to the back of his head. And you can just see there's some really nice light piping on Ratchet. So very cool. Wish more figures had this. But I really like the effect it has there. So there we go. All right, so here we have the Bumblebee, the movie studio series Brawn, all transformed into his tiny little vehicle mode. And I think this very ingenious the way they did this. We never saw his vehicle mode in the movie, but I think really they did a good job with the transformation and how everything kind of fits together. I really like the way his legs sort of split and then they plug into these front wheels here. So it's actually very fun and a little bit tricky transformation, but not too bad. So take a look at the details. You see some nice molded detail on the grill up here. A lot of that gunmetal gray plastic, a little bit of nice gray paint here at the top and up here. So it accents it really nice. You have a smoky, clear plastic here for the front windshield there. And just going down, you do see some of that same molded detail we saw in robot mode. But again, I think it cleans up very nicely. And for a vehicle that we never really saw, never really existed in the movie, I think they did a really bang-up job with this guy. A little bit of hollow part here. You can kind of see through the top where his head would be. But actually, I'll show you in a second where the gun kind of fills in that gap a little bit. See a little bit of a green paint there. Overall, though, a cute little kind of buggy, kind of futuristic little buggy mode. And it really fits the character. I really like how stubby and kind of stocky he is in robot mode. And the vehicle mode just kind of translates that really nicely. So anyway, speaking of the weapon, there is a tiny little peg right here. And there's a little hole underneath the gun, so you can just put that there. It's not the tightest of joints. It is a little bit loose, as you can see. So I kind of wish that was a little bit tighter, but I can probably just fix that up with some floor polish. But that is how the gun is stored in vehicle mode. And it's just sort of, the handle kind of recesses in that space. So it does help to fill up the gap there a little bit better. Without it in there, it's a little bit unsightly, but if you put the weapon storage there, it actually fits in really nicely. So that is the Bumblebee movie studio series Brawn. And just for a quick comparison, there he is with the Titans Return Brawn. And just doing a quick kind of size comparison here. Let's take the gun off. It's going to fall off anyways. So yeah, there they are side by side. So obviously the Bumblebee movie is a little bit bigger, but there's sort of the comparison side by side there with Brawn and the studio series Brawn. So taking both Brawns out, and let's take a look at Ratchet. So here we have Ratchet in his vehicle mode. And this guy, again, the transformation was really fun. A little bit tricky here and there, but the instructions are pretty clear. And again, we never saw the vehicle mode in the movie, but just the fact that they engineered this vehicle mode out of the robot is just really amazing. So I think I actually kind of like Ratchet's vehicle mode a little bit better. You do see some nice detail, panel lining and sculpt work on the side here. You get the sort of mushroom pegs and some sort of off-white paint for the tires there, for the rims. You get some nice red accents going all the way around the vehicle. And the back there, I think that really is cool. It would have been nice if they had some paint on the taillights, but that's something I can maybe add some paint to. And going around the side, much the same. Now, where this figure shines is the front. I think the front of this vehicle mode is just so cool. You have the Autobot symbol just dead center there. You get that nice clear blue plastic all the way around. And you get this nice, where the abdomen piece was, you get the front of that with some nice red paint, sort of deep maroon paint. A little bit of that gray plastic coming through. Just really nice. Love the way that turned out in the front there. Almost looks like one of those kind of wrecking vehicles, just smashed right through a brick wall or something. So very cool. Love this alt mode. Very nice. And he does roll. Actually rolls very nicely. And let's see, so does Brawn actually. Brawn, yeah, they both roll really nicely. So let's have a little bit of a race here. So ready, go. Yeah, Brawn wins. But yeah, they roll really nicely. And if you have everything transformed and tucked away, they just roll just really nice. So you can see the underside there. But yeah, I really love the front of this. Now, as far as weapon integration here, there is a hole right here, and you can just plug his weapon in there. And again, just looking so cool. Yeah, this guy is really turned out great. Just loving both of these figures. So just a quick comparison between him and Siege Ratchet there. Obviously, Siege Ratchet is a little bit bigger. You can sort of see, you know, two totally different figures. But yeah, obviously the Siege Ratchet is a lot bigger. So there they are. Quick comparison there. So let's take them out and put this guy and Brawn. Let me get his gun back on. Yeah, my only real beef with this figure is just that this is a little bit loose. I would have liked a little bit bigger peg, or maybe something inside here that this peg fits into. Not a deal breaker by any means. So anyways, we have the Bumblebee Studio Series Brawn and Ratchet. And these figures are great. I really wish I had the backdrops to them to serve for poses and pictures and things like that. But other than that, these guys are awesome. Loving the transformation, loving the stylistic, really just stylized look of these guys. And if you guys get these, definitely pick them up. Add them to your collection. I wasn't so interested in these guys. I do have Wheeljack on its way, actually in the box, so I will be reviewing him next. But as far as like Soundwave and Ravage, I don't know. Soundwave's alt mode is just ridiculous. Like these alt modes just blow that out of the water. The fact that they're actual vehicles and they're actually functioning alt modes is so cool, and the fact that they engineered them out of the robots and just yeah. Okay, enough gushing here. Pick these guys up if you see them. Anyways, for Bumblebee the movie, Studio Series, Ratchet, and Brawn, this has been Matt in Japan. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.